It is very nice to greet you again. In today's video we will talk about the following. Why your ex-boyfriend acts like an idiot. Why is he such a jerk? A good 90% who visit this site want their ex back. So, automatically that means that every little thing an ex-boyfriend does will be analyzed and taken personally. If he does something good that will benefit you, your heart will likely race with excitement. Of course, if he does something bad or jerk, your heart will start to break and you will almost fall into this mini depression where food loses its flavor and the things that normally turn you on, no longer do. What actions qualify a man to be a jerk? In this case, it is probably best to view a jerk by looking at what society collectively considers to be a jerk. This way both points of view, from both men and women, are taken into account. The behaviors of a jerk ex-boyfriend. Understanding why an ex-boyfriend is a jerk is usually not easy to understand. Doing so requires you to take a trip into a man's mind, and that's not always a fun place to be. However, I've decided to tackle the issue head-on by listing all the jerk behaviors I can think of. Let's start with a common one among ex-boyfriends, which causes unnecessary fights after the breakup. 1. Picking fights after a breakup. When I say picking fights after a breakup, do I just mean the normal fight that can happen during the breakup conversation? No, this is something different. The truth is, it all comes down to maturity or lack thereof. So, instead of being brave and admitting his own flaws as a boyfriend, he decides to take the coward's approach and become the victim, when he really doesn't feel like one. So, he finds a way to pick fights even when she's just trying to be nice. 2. Other women during and after a relationship. I love talking about this particular type of behavior because it will really address one of your biggest fears. Your ex looking at other women or getting back together after your relationship. So what exactly do I mean by this jerk behavior? Well, during your relationship with your ex-boyfriend, did you constantly catch him looking at other women? After your breakup, is he constantly talking to other women or maybe even dating them? I don't think your ex is a jerk if he was casually looking at other women during your relationship. The first thing I want to address here is that there is a difference between casually looking at other women and aggressively looking at and pursuing them. If a beautiful woman literally threw herself at your boyfriend, would he have the willpower to stop her? A jerk would have willpower. A jerk wouldn't. Either way, he just ventured into jerk territory. 3. Other women after your relationship ends. You and your ex just broke up and now he's talking to 10 other girls at the same time. Sure, you're incredibly angry about the breakup and you've called him every bad name you can think of, but should he really be considered a jerk? This is an interesting question because technically right now you and your ex-boyfriend are broken up. So does it make him a jerk if he talks to other girls after you two are no longer together? I don't think so. You two are broken up, remember? In fact, it starts to get so ridiculous that you get the sneaking suspicion that he's talking to these other women to annoy you. He's basically flaunting his interactions with the other girls as a way to piss you off. If your ex-boyfriend is doing this, then he's being a complete jerk. 4. Not answering your calls or responding to your texts. The way this scenario will play out is really pretty simple. You and I are exes. We both texted each other after our breakup and you seem to be under the impression that things are somewhat okay between the two of us. That is until you send a text and I don't respond. Then you send another one a few days later and I ignore that one too. You try again a few more days and I ignore you again. What a jerk, you think to yourself. 5. Lying. You need to assume that your ex-boyfriend is lying to you about the real reason he broke up with you. I know this is a totally jerk move on our part, but we want to lie to you about the breakup for a very specific reason. We don't want to hurt your feelings. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all guys are like this. You may have dated a real jerk who loves to see you suffer, but generally speaking we don't want to see you suffer. 6. He just wants to see you hurt. I'm talking about an ex-boyfriend who says some pretty unforgivable things. The kind of things that he knows will hurt you to the core. He tells you these things for a reason, to see you hurt. Now, why would he do that? Well, this is your ex-boyfriend, remember? We're automatically going to assume that you won't be on the best of terms with him. Let's say that you two had a really bad breakup and he has a lot of anger and emotions right now. This anger inside him will cause him to seek revenge. You are an essential part of what we do on this channel. For this reason, we keep an eye on what you need, And if it is your desire to recover your ex correctly and effectively, you must click on the link below.